Stewart Knight was born in Boston, January 1813. She married Dr. Joel Knight, September 18, 1824. She had 9 children with Joel and was pregnant with her 8th child when they set off on the Oregon Trail. However, her pregnancy did not lessen how much she needed to carry, considering that children themselves had heavy loads, and 1 in every 5 women who were taking this trip were pregnant.
We set out from Oregon from Iowa because my husband got fed up with Iowa's harsh winters. Our 5-month journey began on April 9th, 1853. There were a lot of storms and rain showers. It was a long and painful journey. We were all homesick. The people on the trip were violent. If they thought you were trying to cut them, they would threaten to take out their gun and shoot you. The days were long and tiresome. Bathings were spread apart. However, when we did get to bathe, it felt great, but the bathing waters themselves weren't always in the best condition. We lost many cattle on the trip, and my husband kept having to sell possessions to keep a decent money flow, but in vain. At one point, we did end up running out of food for the cattle and ended up having to feed them flour.
They had to stop often to set up camp and to give the cattle a rest before continuing. They ran into the beautiful Green Valley Indian village after walking 18 miles that day. They ran into more Indians later in the trip as well on multiple occasions. They ran into Indians. One of those occasions was on the middle ground in which they ran into friendly Cayuse Indians who showed Joel where to find water. They also bought a few potatoes from the Indians to be their treat for supper.
For the last weeks of our trip, it was almost non-stop rain. Everything was cold, wet, slippery, and muddy, which made travel difficult and dangerous. Going up and down muddy hills is especially risky, because if you slip, you would roll to the bottom of the hill. I ended up carrying my son, Chatfield, my youngest child at the time, for most of it, which made the last part of the journey even more tiring and dangerous. We ended up camping about 7 miles from Milwaukee. My 8th child was born a few days after that. After my 8th child was born, we ferried across the Columbia River. It took us 3 days to get across, and from there my husband traded 2 yoke of oxen for half a section of land, with vegetables already planted and a house already built, completely ready for us to start our new lives.